Hi, I'm Michael J. Fox. For the next 1/24th of a day, for the next 3,600 seconds, for the next 60 minutes, for the next exciting hour, you and I are going to go time traveling together. Carrying us into the future one second after another. And on and on and on. And this is a time machine too, designed by writer H.G. Wells to transport us to a very frightening future. And for a magic ride into a happier past, there's this time machine over here. Something very top secret. Something built today to recapture yesterday. Or explore tomorrow. Whichever you choose. Is there really such thing as a time machine we can just hop into? Roar off through the cosmic calendar in any direction? No. Well, not yet. Maybe next year. Maybe in 1,000 years. No one knows. But what if we had one? Right here and now. Just imagine all the amazing things that are waiting for us out there between all the ticks and tocks of time. And who knows? We might just have enough time left after all that to sneak a peek at what's really under here. Sound interesting? What amazing places does H.G. Wells take us to in his machine? You'll see for yourself a little later on. But before we time travel anywhere, we've got to understand what time is. No, that's not as easy or as obvious as it sounds. Okay, so the concept of what time is can really be a mind blower, and no one can truly define or describe it. But measuring time, well, that's another story. Although it did take us thousands of years to get our timekeeping act together. It's a good thing we did, too. One thing, though, as good as our modern clocks are, they can never, ever be absolutely correct. That's because time itself isn't absolutely constant. It changes in the strangest ways. A man named Albert Einstein made sure of that. At the same time moviegoers were wrestling with far-fetched ideas of space travel, a young German math whiz was already leaping light years ahead toward time travel. Einstein's special theory of relativity only permits time travel into the future, but what about going backward as well as forward? Well, some scientists believe that two-way time travel is possible inside one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. Inside black holes. Whether we use black holes someday or machines or whatever, you and I may have to wait a while before we can actually physically travel back and forth in time. But that's okay, because we already have another easier way to visit any part of time we like, whatever we like. No, not inside this machine. Inside this one. The imagination. Of all the writers who set our imaginations free to wander through time, one still stands apart from all the others. Our old friend H.G. Wells. And let's face it, he gave us the original literary hardware back in 1895, and it hasn't worn out yet. From the turn of the 20th century on, no one needed a crystal ball to predict that H.G. Wells' writings would have a lasting impact on the world. And it came as no surprise when time travel in books soon led to time travel in the movies. What kind of time machines are movie makers building to send audiences of the 80s into the fourth dimension? This is it, right here.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
At the heart of Back to the Future is the old and bewildering question, and that is, if we can go back in time, can we also change the shape of things to come once we get there? Could a time traveler really alter history, either on purpose or somehow by mistake? Well, that's a question that's puzzled scientists, writers, and movie makers for a long time. Of course, it doesn't much matter how we travel through time, just as long as we do it, to keep the past, present, and future in proper perspective. And what will we find on the other side of the time barrier? Nothing much. Just the most incredible adventures you could possibly imagine, that's all. And all the time in the world to live them. Hey, I had to know. I've been there.